Welcome to Art Ed Radio, the podcast for art teachers. This show is produced by the Art of Education, and I'm your host, Tim Bogatz. You've heard me talk a lot on the podcast before about the master's degree from the Art of Education University. I've shared a lot about my own graduate courses that I've taken for my continuing education, for my license renewal. And this episode is going to tell a very cool story about someone who is using their master's degree to become an art teacher. So today I will be joined by Sarah Colvin, a special education teacher from Michigan, who's wrapping up her time as a special ed teacher and stepping into her new role as an elementary art teacher this fall. So I'm really excited to hear about her inspiration and her preparation and what it's like to, take a leap like that in your teaching career. And there are obviously some great opportunities in the art room. We all know about those. And there are also some challenges as well. And I know everybody listening knows about those as well. So I'm curious to hear what Sarah has to say and hear what she's thinking about navigating all of these changes. Before we dive into the interview, before we dive into the conversation with Sarah, I want to say just a couple more things about the degree. First of all, everything that you're doing with your degree is incredibly relevant. Assignments include things like lesson plans and curriculum maps and assessment tools and other instructional aids and resources. And these are things that you are probably already doing in your classroom. So not only do you get a chance to level those up, you get a chance to receive credit for some things that you might already be doing in your classroom. And like I said, I used my graduate courses to renew my license. And, most students use the AOEU grad courses or their master's degree to help with goals like that. It might be just receiving professional development that's relevant, that's specific to the K-12 art room. It might be a chance for you to move up on the pay scale. It might help you with your own license renewal or your advancement. So if you are interested in grad courses, if you're interested in a master's degree, you can learn more about both of those things. You can learn about how to get started on the Art of Education website. We'll link to that in the show notes. You can also email admissions@theartofeducation.edu. Talk to an admissions counselor. They are great. They will help you navigate everything no matter what your goals are. Okay, Sarah is here. I am excited to talk to her. Let me bring her on now. All right, Sarah Colvin is joining me now. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am also doing well. Excited for this conversation. I know we have a lot to talk about. With all of our new guests, I love to have them start with an introduction. So can you tell us about yourself, about your teaching, anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, my name's Sarah Colvin. I live in Michigan, so I'm just a little far from you guys. I currently teach special education, so I'll be done with that in June. So our year is almost up.
Yeah.
And then moving into the fall, I'll be teaching art at the same school, which is a K-4 building.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really, really excited for that. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to share kind of what I've been doing and how this transition is going to be happening. And then another little fun fact about me is I'm a twin, and she is also a special education teacher. So it's something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's really fun. So
Very cool. Cool. So let me ask you, what made you want to switch from the classroom to the art room? What made you want to go into the art room? And when did you, first start considering making that move?
yeah, so I first started considering it when I heard rumors that the current art teacher, who's been here for a long time, was kind of planning on retiring in the next couple years. And so it kind of sparked my interest, and I was like, oh, I could actually see myself in that position. I've
Okay.
always absolutely loved art. and I love working with students. And so that piece right now, I only work with about 14 kiddos. And
Hmm.
so being able to work with now almost 500 is a really exciting change for me. It'll definitely look different than my current position where I have a lot of closeness with my students, and that connection's a really big piece for me. But yeah, that change I'm really excited for. The main thing that was kind of like the driving factor in that switch was in my current position, I'm in meetings all the time. I have to spend a lot of time doing
Hmm.
paperwork, and I feel like I can't be with my students all the time. And so I'm excited to move into an art position where that isn't such a big factor, and I can be really intentional with my students and build that connection with a larger group of people. So,
Yeah, I really love
yeah.
that. I feel like, yeah, you got all the right reasons there. And
Yeah,
having hundreds of kids will be a different challenge for sure.
100%.
But I love what you say about, just trying to connect with more kiddos, and like you said, trying to be intentional about everything that you're doing. And I think that's very cool. So,
Yeah, and I love that fact of like giving the students at the school like a comfort person, and I want to be that for them, and I want to build an environment where they feel safe and accepted and just loved. So
oh
I'm
my goodness,
excited to
I
take
love that.
that from my current position to the art room and build that
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah, that's very cool. So,
yeah.
now I know in order to kind of make that transition from special education to art, you went through the Art of Education University master's degree program to kind of get you ready, get you qualified for that. So, can you tell me just kind of all about the experience with AOEU? Like, do you feel like it has helped you prepare for the move into the art room?
Yeah. So with my current special education degree, I can technically teach art, but you only take like 1 to 2 classes
Mhm.
through that. And so moving into that position, I wanted to get that experience and that knowledge so that I'm able to make that transition a lot smoother
Yeah.
and make me a more desirable candidate too. And so when I found out that the art teacher was retiring, I think it was like the next week, I ended up signing up. I worked with my advisor to like, if I knew he was going to be retiring, this fall, I want to have it done by then, right? To have all
Right,
that
right.
knowledge and experience to bring them into that position. And so it was kind of expedited. So I've been taking like 2 to 3 classes every 8 weeks. And so
Oh my
it's definitely
goodness.
been a
So
busy
you
time.
you
It's
have
only been
been
about a year and
busy.
a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be done in July with that fully. So yeah, and it was just such a nice way to like gain insight on like assessments and curriculum and
Hmm.
planning all of that, because that's something I do right now with academics, but then moving that into an art standpoint
Yeah.
was something I was nervous about and wanted to be able to give my students my best. And so that was a really big piece for me. And that I feel like the program has been super helpful with that. And just so understanding of like, this is when I want to have it done. I did have to take 2 extra classes because I didn't have the same experience most of the other teachers getting this
Right,
master's.
right.
And so, yeah, it was all just really wonderful. And because I love art, it was something I really felt connected to and really enjoyed. So,
Very cool. I love to hear
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
now I'm guessing that the program has kind of been a blur for you if you're
yeah.
moving through that quickly. But like, can you talk about some things from the courses or just your overall experience that have been either most helpful to you or most interesting to you?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm in my last class right now, so I'm only taking that one currently. And so you're right, it has been such a blur. It all just went by so fast. And like you said, with taking 2 to 3 classes every couple 8 weeks,
Hmm.
it goes by fast. But I feel like some of the most helpful classes were choice-based art,
Yeah.
which is one of my elective courses, because that's something I really believe in and want to implement in the art room moving forward.
Hmm.
And then also designing my art curriculum was another really important class. Like I said, for that piece of bringing in that to my students with that choice-based art, but then designing it so that I can start off the year really strong because
Yeah.
there isn't that set curriculum, and I want to best meet the needs of all my learners. And
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah,
right.
that's something I really enjoyed through this program.
No, I think that's good. And I'm glad that you're being thoughtful about, just kind of the pedagogy, but also, how you're going to structure things, how you're going to implement those things. And I think that can really, I don't know, help you hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you make that transition, hopefully all of those skills are going to be helpful. Now, I would also love to know, we've talked about this a little bit, but like, what are you
Yeah.
most looking forward to as you transition into the art room? And I guess on the flip side of that too, like, what are you apprehensive about? What are you nervous about as you make the change?
Yeah. So starting that with that, what I'm looking forward to, like I said, I'm really looking forward to working with all the students in the school. I've been trying to be really intentional about now that I know I'm going to be in that position, starting to connect with some of them
Yeah.
and build that relationship with some of them, trying to learn all their names, which is so hard with that many
Yeah.
kids. And yeah, I'm really excited too. So right now I only work with grades kindergarten and third and fourth. And so I'm excited to now work with junior kindergarten and first. So
Yeah.
with different grades and different kiddos and get to share my love of art with them as well.
Yeah,
And
that'll be cool.
then I'm really excited too to share that love of like choice and building that connection piece with them. Because right now they don't have a lot of choice in the art room. I
Hmm.
think it'll be a big change, and I'm hoping to really grow that love of art with them.
Yeah, that will be really cool.
Yeah. And then what I'm apprehensive about, I think the big thing is just leaving my current students. A lot of them,
Yeah.
I've been their resource room teacher for 3 years now.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so I know it's going to be a big change for them, just like it is me. And
Hmm.
so working with them every single day for hours on end, I'm nervous for that change for them, but I do know the person who's going to be coming into my role, and she's someone I trust, and I know she's going to do a great job.
That's good. That's good.
So,
It always feels better if you know that like your kids will be
yeah,
in good hands.
exactly. And I'll still get to see them just in a different capacity as well.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure.
yeah.
And then I guess I'm curious to, with the experience that you do have, I would love to know like what parts of your experience already, your own years in the classroom so far, like what do you think is going to transition into the art room? Like what do you feel like you're already good at or, already have experience with that, is universal, like that can be used in any teaching setting?
Yeah, I love that. It's something too that like teaching is one of those things that like once you have those really good skills, like they transition so well.
Yeah.
And so implementing that student choice is something I do currently in my current position, where the students have a lot of choice with the work that they get to do because
Right.
I see in them that it really builds up that connection for them. And so I encourage them to take ownership of their learning, which is something I feel translates beautifully in the art room.
Yeah.
And then that differentiation piece is something I do all day, every day. It's, the core of my work. And so that transitions perfectly in the art room because grade to grade, it's going to look different. Student to student, it's going to look different. So having that as an element in my art classroom, I feel will be really beneficial. And then
Yeah.
obviously there's going to be behavioral struggles that happen in the art room, just in a everyday classroom those occur. And so I feel like I have some really strong experience in managing behavior with those proactive strategies. And so I can recognize when a student needs a break. And so I feel like that will really build up that safe art classroom that will benefit most learners. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that last piece I have mentioned too is just that building relationships and connections and that trust with my student is
Mhm.
always been the key of my teaching, I feel like. And it's something I really focus on every day. And so that is something that is so beneficial in the art room as well. And I'm excited to translate that into a safe and supportive environment in the art classroom where they can just thrive and grow.
Yeah,
So
that
yeah, I
all
feel like,
sounds amazing. So
yeah,
yeah, like you said, like so many of those skills are universal, and just once you're good at teaching, like you can teach
yeah,
almost anywhere. And so I think just kind of putting the structure and getting the art specific knowledge, like you said, through the master's program is really going to be helpful. But you have that
exactly.
experience, you have that knowledge, you have those skills, and that should make the transition a lot easier. And then
Yeah,
I guess just as a final question for you, I
yeah,
would love to know if you have any other advice for people who are thinking about making the move to the art room. Like we've seen so many people recently move from special ed to art, from, a classroom to the art room, or from different subjects to art. Like, is what have you learned through the program that you think will help with that? And then is this a move that you would encourage other people to look into?
yeah. So that first piece of advice, although I haven't transitioned into the art room yet, I've been doing all of the things that will get me ready for that
Yeah, yeah.
element. And so I feel like really relying on your people at school. Like I have the most supportive friends and team and principal who have made this transition so easy because it's still at the same school, that I just feel so supported and like so there are already people I collaborate with on a daily basis because of my current position. And so
Hmm.
moving then into the art position, I'll still get to collaborate with them. And they've been so supportive and like I've been trying to be intentional about planning the curriculum, for example. And so keeping elements that they're working on in the classroom and then transitioning that to the art room. I want to be really intentional about those decisions too, so that they see it in multiple places. And so that like preparation and being ready for it is like definitely something I'd recommend. And this art, master's in art education has definitely really helped with that. I feel so prepared and so ready to take on this role. But then also their support has made me feel so prepared and ready for it as well. And then the last piece is just using your strengths and
Yeah.
taking those pieces that you feel so supported or so secure in your current position and then transitioning that into this new role. I feel like is going to really take it to the next level. And I'm really excited to both use that art skills as well as my current skills I already have. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you are ready to go. Sounds like you are set
Yeah,
up
I'm so
for
excited.
success. So, yeah, cool. Well, Sarah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing your story, and best of luck to you in the
Yeah.
fall as you move into the art room.
Yes. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much to Sarah for coming on and for sharing her story. And as Sarah prepares for her first year in the art room, it's really clear that she has a passion for connecting with students. She has a thoughtful approach to teaching. And I would say between her background in special education, those qualities I just mentioned, and the knowledge that she's gained through her master's coursework, I think she's ready to go for next year. Just the emphasis on relationship building and differentiation and fostering student autonomy will hopefully create a classroom culture where her kids are going to flourish, where they can be creative, where they can be confident, and where they can make great things. So I think, like I said, it's a great story. I appreciate Sarah sharing it with us. And I would say if you're an experienced teacher that's listening to this, think about what to do if someone like Sarah's coming your way. Okay, if you have someone moving into your school or moving into your department as a new teacher, think about how you might be able to help them and guide them through that first year. And maybe even be open to hearing about what they're learning in their coursework or their preparation that might be able to help you. Art Ed Radio is produced by The Art of Education with audio engineering from Michael Crocker. We're so glad you joined us for today's episode. We hope it was helpful for you. Again, you can explore more about grad courses and the master's degree at the Art of Education University website, which is linked in the show notes. If you know someone else who might be helped with the information from the show, we would love for you to share it with them. We also appreciate all the ratings and reviews that listeners leave for us. So if you have a few seconds to give us a 5-star rating or even leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, we would love to see it. Thank you again for listening. We will talk to you next week.